Anyway, we're having a come to Jesus meeting right now.
Anyway, have you had any quote unquote fun poly experiences?
Fun?
Well,
or
quote unquote.
Like bitches be trippin'.
Bitches be trippin'.
Comically, bitches be trippin', yeah.
In fact, my only experience with poly has been bitches be trippin'.
Seriously?
Yes, I came out...
That's so normal, bitches. Stop
know.
tripping.
Right?
Bitches, just stop. Look where you're going.
No, yeah, so my only poly experience was with one crazy lady. I came out and she was batshit crazy.
Batshit.
She was off her freaking rocker.
Bats caused the coronavirus.
It was similar to Wonder Woman's flakiness, always canceling.
However, if I remember the story correctly, the flakiness was like on another level.
Oh man, it was insane. She would like fall off the face of the earth for like 3 days to go on some bipolar manic episode or something.
So she would like retroactively retract the yes.
Yeah.
So that was as I remember the story. It was that time that I kept saying yes, yes, and begging you please, please.
Yes,
I meant
please,
no.
Jesus.
I meant no. The whole time.
Oh God, yes, yes.
No.
Never mind.
Yeah, so
So
I was accused of sexually harassing her because I rubbed her shoulders and I made her feel uncomfortable. However, I want to literally express how important it is to just be open. Don't be afraid of hurting anybody's feelings.
Communication.
Communication, exactly.
Take a sip.
Exactly.
I'm
Communication. If you don't want somebody touching you, say so. Don't say yes. And then have somebody else feel like shit whenever you accuse them of sexual harassment. So, yeah.
That's on another fucked up level. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So
I always say people should be free to say no at any point during the interaction. Absolutely. But you can't say no after.
Yeah.
After it's done, no is too late.
It's one of those things, like I'm totally a victim's advocate, and I attempt to come across to everybody like, hey, it's okay. Even if you hurt my feelings, at least you told me the truth.
Absolutely.
And I think that was one of the things that her problem was she was too afraid to say the truth. And another one of her issues was she was more of an open relationship type person. So even when I explained what I was looking for in a poly relationship...
Whoa. You went into a relationship saying, hey, this is what I want. They didn't do the same.
Exactly.
Huh.
She was more about... being with multiple people, which is fine, but I feel like your other person needs to know that. It's not something that is just for one person to know.
It's one of those things where you can say, if you're saying yes throughout the whole thing, and then you feel like, I hate that, I shouldn't have done that, that doesn't mean that you weren't consenting at the time. And that's the thing,
But the thing is that when you say it's okay, and then something happens, and then you're not okay, you need to express when you're not okay immediately.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, this isn't okay. I'm not okay with this.
And if it happens
or,
after,
I know this. I said this was okay, but really, I would be more comfortable if this happened next time instead.
Or if there can't be a next time, because now
it's like,
you're not okay. But understand that you can't undo what's been done.
But you have to take
it.
accountability for allowing that said thing to happen.
Exactly.
And not making the other party feel responsible for it.
She was a very pass the buck type person anyway, and nothing in her life was ever her fault.
Oh, we know so many people like that. Holy cow.
So many.
That's a psychological disorder.
Isn't it like narcissistic?
Our next episode, I think we have our next episode.
I think we have our next episode.
Yeah.
Right.
She was very narcissistic. What was good for her was not good or okay for me. She could touch my butt and I would turn around 2 seconds later and do the same thing to her. And she would stop talking to me for days and stew on it and create this crazy thing that happened in her head. And then all of a sudden I was the one that done this and I was the one that made her feel this way and it was my fault.
Yeah. Two things on that. If you're recognizing this, listeners, if any of this is sounding familiar, get out of that relationship.
Run. Jesus saith runneth.
put your hands in your pockets and walk out backwards.
Yes. Like, okay, I'm out of here.
If it reminds you of you, please get help.
Yes, there is help out there.
Help. Please get help. Did I mention that there is help available that people can get, and you should please do that?
I think you vaguely mentioned that
Probably.
before.
Because if you are with anybody that actually gives one iota of a damn and you make them feel horrible for something that they thought was okay, and then afterwards you made them feel like shit for, that's not okay.
That's not okay.
Boom.
Boom. Damn. Yeah. She dropped the mic on that one.
So are we done, or
apparently that's it? I guess that's all.
Wrap this up.
All right, now we're all good. So that actually kind of brings up one, and I know we've alluded to it several times before, but Jay and I's first poly experience. It was a friend of ours.
She touches her chin when she's considering. There it is.
So what the story goes is that fast forward a few years from high school. Jay and I have a house, and her best friend's like, "Hey, I need a place to stay." She has a kid, actually 2 kids at a time. Yeah, 2 kids at a time.
a newborn?
One being a newborn. And asks if she can stay with us. Like, hey, we have an extra room, why not? She moves in with us, and a couple months go by, and things are getting kind of flirty a lot between all of us. And what ends up happening is, like, Jay and I have a discussion, like, hey, have we ever considered this? Think she'd be up for it?
Well, she and I actually had a discussion, and we were like, hey, if this is ever going to work,
you'd be the perfect person.
We would be the perfect people for each other. And she agreed, and she was like, yeah, I really have always felt that way.
Right. So,
lie.
Right.
Lying heathen. Lying non-heathen.
So Jay and I have a discussion, and what ends up happening is that we have an agreement between Jay and I. We have a rule in place. I'm going to go refer to
we already talked about rules. Go
Yes.
listen to the rules episode if you want to hear how that actually turned out.
Yeah. So that rule kind of went away.
Backfired.
Yes. Backfire is a better word for it. So we start dating her, and things get good for about a few weeks. A few weeks is okay.
I actually had a meeting with my best friends at the time. I had 2 of them, and they were awesome, knew me. We had been through some really crazy shit together. And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about dating so and so, and they were like, whoa, let's go have pizza. So we went and had pizza, and they expressed all of their concerns, and I expressed my concerns.
All the red flags, which we should have listened to.
They were like, hey, if this is something you decide to do, we're here. We'll be here.
Warning.
But blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, thank you. So we continued.
Yeah. And so fast forward, say a month, things go downhill within 3 weeks in, everything's peachy. That last week was just like, oh my God, what the fuck just happened? And things went downhill really, really quick. Things started getting accusatory. Things started, again, communication was non-existent between Jay and I, between the girlfriend and I, and Jay and the girlfriend, and it was just a mess. It was a huge mess. She ends up...
Oh, I was communicating.
Oh, you were.
Quite well.
I don't know that hand gestures and the number 1 sign is really communication. But it is clear, though.
it was definitely clear. But she ends up moving out and goes ghost, pre-Facebook ghost, or anything, social media ghosting. She goes ghost, and fast forward a couple, 6 months, Jay's best friend...
One of the ones I actually consulted with that watched this horrible drama unfold...
decided that she wanted to date her, and we're just like, what? What? How? What?
Did you not see the crazy that unfolded?
Right.
Did you not? You came and picked me up when my tires were slit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tires did get slashed. Mm-hmm.
We've had some cray-cray bitches in our past.
Right.
Yes, definitely.
So Jay's friend starts...
Jesus is astounded.
Yeah, Jay's best friend starts dating this cray. Surprisingly, shit goes AWOL. After a year, huh? They had dated for a while.
Oh, she made so many accusations for my friend, and I could not convince her. She, in fact, she in fact made her promise to stop having any interaction with me whatsoever.
Right. Distancing. That's kind of like a psychotic type of thing to do.
Well, it also goes in how she immediately charmed the people on the side who were viewing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, she was telling Jay's best friend about how we had conversations about me leaving Jay and how I wanted only her and not Jay anymore and how I was going to leave Jay. And it's like, wait, what?
Except her ass was left.
Yeah. The only one that was left, like, in the house was Jay. And we were just like, what the fuck was that? Let's not do that ever again. And fast forward a few years, we did. But
right, I was going to say, this is very similar to
very similar to what?
To your experience with X.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know.
So, needless to say,
Hank's head in shame. Jesus is holding Jack.
Our pussy.
And kissing him.
I like to kiss the pussies.
We're all going to hell.
Oh my God. My name is Jesus and you are not going to hell.
By the
if
way,
nothing more than because of Jay's awesome toy collection. We had fun while you were away.
Our Jesus-approved collection of sex toys.
I did not consent.
so
You have to be here to say no.
Oh my God!
Anyway, weren't we talking about...
Yes, we were.
we're talking about something.
Shit.
This episode is a
closed.
train wreck.
It is. So we're sorry to our listeners.
He's going to be editing this for hours.
Well, it's good
You
that I'll
guys
be.
need to give like kudos and immediate 100% a million props to Zan for editing this episode.
Please become a Patreon. Support Zan. The
Yeah.
poor guy
Please.
needs it. He
Yeah.
seriously needs your love.
I know, he's so homely.
Damn.
So says
Take that
Jesus.
back.
No, don't take it back.
He's not homely.
It's from a place of
Listen,
realness.
I'm Jesus. What I say goes. I have 10 commandments. I'm at an 11. He's homely.
She has a point. 10th
Boom.
commandment, 11th commandment.
My husband is gorgeous.
He is,
But
yeah.
he's also homely.
So is Jesus' husband.
Is homely?
I'm sorry, Jesus.
Jesus'
No, he's
Okay,
gorgeous.
no.
Sorry.
Jesus
Oh, yeah, he
is
is gorgeous.
Yeah, see?
He's beautiful. He's a Viking god.
exactly.
He is.
Jesus' husband is a Viking god.
He's
Yes.
beautiful.
And he's also an essential employee.
You know what I find hilarious is the fact that so Jesus' husband is like 6'4",
6'4".
He's 6 foot
What?
awesome.
of all Vikingness.
He
I know.
picks me up when he gives me a hug.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Like my
Picks
feet are
me up
dangling.
too. Oh my god.
I
Well,
love
he
it.
picks me up in all kinds of ways.
Oh.
Well, I mean that's between you and him, but between me and him,
Fuck that. We showed her sex toys. She can go out
Did
with
he
us.
tell you my middle name?
Showed her my
No, he
sex
didn't.
no,
toys?
he has not.
That's not even fair.
So he did not tell me your middle name.
Yes,
How-
he did.
No,
Don't
I
let
did
him
not.
lie to you.
I
Look at
did
his
not.
face. He's laughing. He can't even keep a straight face. Who do you believe, him or Jesus?
I mean, you cannot really argue with that one.
I'm gonna be in the kitchen.
Or is there more sex toys in there that I need to approve?
Are you making us sandwiches?
Get out. Get the fuck out. You
Do
get to
you
go
want
bake
yours
sandwiches.
blended?
Not again.
Folks,
Oh, you did that? Oh.
Oh, I totally fucking. He was like, "Why don't you fix me a sandwich?"
Her and Selkie
And
had blended me a sandwich.
Selkie and I blended him a fucking sandwich, and we kept asking him, "Do you want pickles in it?" "Oh yeah, that would be great." "Do you want ketchup?" "Yeah, sure." We put that shit in a fucking blender and we served it to him with a spoon, and we're like, "Here, we didn't want you to have to go through the trouble of chewing it."
It was hilarious.
That was super sweet of you.
we've been drinking a
Right?
lot this
so
episode.
thoughtful. So thoughtful.
Because we need it.
Care.
You do.
And
You
once
do.
again, from us at Polysaturated, we don't condone or promote any form of alcoholism.
Um,
So stories about, fun stories or painful stories or stories that are only now in retrospect fun about our past relationships. I do, I have tons of stories about Ace Queen and the antics that went on with that.
So let's get one. Let's
Oh,
get one
Lord.
about Ace Queen. Now, okay, we love our aces.
We absolutely do.
However, please, if you're ace, let us know beforehand.
Inform
Here
your
is
potential
what-
partners.
But
you don't-
right, exactly. Which
that
is
you
what-
don't want, need, desire, or even think about sex. It'd be great if you gave them a heads up.
because